When the first gunshot echoed through the marble lobby, the entire world seemed to freeze. She didn't see the shooter. She didn't even see the shadow moving behind her. But before the next bullet could fly, a man threw himself between her and danger, his arms wrapping around her, his body shielding hers like an unbreakable wall. The CEO, Alina Gray, felt the impact of the gunman's fall before she saw it. The man who saved her didn't flinch, he just turned his head slightly and whispered, "You're safe now." That was the moment she felt something she hadn't in years, a strange, aching familiarity. Alina was the youngest female CEO of one of the biggest tech empires in the country. Strong, confident, untouchable, that's what the world saw. But inside, she lived with a hollow space that no success could fill. Her husband, Daniel, had vanished during a secret military operation 7 years ago. The government declared him dead. She had buried an empty casket, cried over a folded flag, and raised their little boy alone. Now, this new bodyguard, the one her board insisted on hiring after multiple threats, had stepped into her life like a ghost from the past. His name was Ethan Cole. He was quiet, disciplined, and fiercely protective. His eyes, though, those eyes looked like Daniel's. Deep, stormy, and full of something she couldn't name. Every time their gazes met, her heart stumbled. But it couldn't be him, right? She told herself she was being foolish. Grief played tricks on memory. Still, every little detail felt too familiar, the way he held his coffee mug, how he looked away when she smiled, how he tensed whenever her son, Liam, ran into the room. Liam adored him instantly. "Mom, he feels like Dad," the boy said one morning. Alina laughed it off. But that night, she cried quietly. Weeks passed, and danger kept following her. Someone was sabotaging her company, leaking data, threatening her family. Through it all, Ethan was always there, taking bullets meant for her, driving through storms, standing outside her home in the rain like a silent guardian. But beneath his calm, Ethan fought a different battle, the war between truth and duty. Because Ethan wasn't his real name. He was Daniel. 7 years ago, Daniel had been taken by an enemy unit during a classified mission. Everyone believed he died in that explosion, everyone except him. When he finally escaped and returned, he found that his identity had been erased, his life classified as deceased, and his wife now one of the most powerful CEOs in the country, and in danger. He wanted to tell her everything. God, he wanted to run to her, to hold her, to tell her he never stopped loving her. But the agency warned him, her company was infiltrated, and revealing himself could get her and Liam killed. So he did the only thing he could. He became her protector. Every time he looked at her, every time she smiled, it broke him a little more. She didn't know her husband stood beside her every day, risking his life for her all over again. Then came the night everything fell apart. Alina was kidnapped by the same man who had been behind the corporate attacks, her late father's former partner, a man who wanted control of her company and revenge for being exposed years ago. Daniel stormed in, bullets flying, rage burning in his chest. He didn't care about his cover anymore. When Alina saw him fight, the way he moved, the way he called her name as he shielded her, it hit her. "Daniel," she whispered through tears. He froze. His gun trembled slightly. "Alina," he said softly, his voice cracking. "I'm home." Her knees buckled. The moment shattered everything she thought she knew. She fell into his arms, crying like she hadn't since the day he died. "They told me. You were gone," she sobbed. "I waited for you every night." He held her tighter. "I never stopped coming back," he whispered. "I just needed to make sure you'd be safe first." The rescue team burst in moments later, taking down the kidnappers. But in that chaos, all Alina saw was the man she thought she lost, alive, scarred, and real. After the storm, Daniel finally told her everything, the mission, the lies, the years of silence. She didn't care about any of it. She only cared that he was alive. It wasn't easy. Rebuilding their lives, their trust, their family, it took months. Alina had to balance being a CEO, a mother, and a wife who was learning to love again. Daniel had to learn to live as more than a soldier, to open up, to forgive himself for not coming home sooner. But together, they did it. In the final scene of their story, they stood on the balcony of their home, the city lights shimmering below. Liam slept inside. Daniel wrapped his arms around Alina and kissed her forehead. You saved me too, you know, he said quietly. Alina smiled through tears. I guess we both did. And as the camera fades, the narrator's voice gently closes with a message to the viewers. Sometimes love finds its way back, even through loss, fear, and time. If you believe in second chances, if you believe love never truly dies, tap that like button, share this story, and subscribe for more. Because somewhere out there, someone is waiting to come home too.